Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel Crafty Concepts with Erin. If you're new here, welcome. We're going to create a scrapbook layout today, and I've already pulled some of the items I'm going to incorporate into today's layout. Now I have the circles here just to show you guys. Both of these dies are part of close to my heart Slimline Celebration that has been going on for a while, and it goes through October 31st. If you haven't checked it out, I have a layout here on my channel featuring this circle die. Now it's a slimline celebration because these are perfectly sized for slimline cards, and there's a whole workshop and bundle option, or you can buy these individually, and there are stamps as well. Lots of fun things that come along with this collection that I have been using over the past month here in both cards and scrapbook layouts. But today we're going to create a layout with the stars, and I'm going to show you how easily these dies can be adapted to scrapbook projects and not just cards. I have a couple photos of my son at his school play. This was a Christmas play. They do one every year, and you can see they are dressed up as angels, and there's clouds and stars in the background. So I really wanted to play up the star theme because they were up in heaven and the sky was beautiful and there was just clouds and stars everywhere and lots of twinkle lights. So I thought this is going to be perfect. As you can see, there's a lot of neutral tones, grays, black and blues in these photos as well. So that's why I selected these papers. Now all of these are from the wood grain, and the blue is from the core catalog, and the plaid is from the current catalog with the mix-in paper collection. I want to show you guys these collections because I get asked a lot about papers for boys. I think I've grab whatever you can, mark my place with the paintbrush here. But these are, again, this is the core catalog that goes through August of next summer, and they have the wood grain paper pack and a paper pack they call textures. You guys, these are not only great for just any type of scrapbook layout in general, but I use these a ton on my boy pages. So the wood grain, there's different tones, they're double-sided, and you get lots of different choices there. And then the textures paper is a lot of neutrals, and you can see like they've got the brick and just like this basket weave, burlap. You know, it is cardstock, but it has this texture look to it. And then this blue looks like denim, and a couple other neutrals that are really cool. So they are, again, perfect for so many. They just match along with current paper packs, but they're great papers to just reach for your boy layouts especially. At least my boys, because this just fits their personality and their lifestyle. One more thing I thought we'd incorporate today. I know it's a little bit hard to see. There's this star. I'm trying to think here. I'll just show you in the catalog. A star stencil. These are 12 by 12. In the back of the catalog, they have a page of stencils, some sized for cards, which again you can use on scrapbook layouts. And then they have 3 different stencil packs you can get. And here is the star one here. And I love that these are 12 by 12. And that just makes them so versatile because you can use it as a whole or just bits and pieces of it. So the one with the stars there, I thought that would be great to incorporate into our star themed layout. I'm laying down my all-purpose mat because I'm going to bring in my Ranger Opaque Matte Texture Paste. Now I have a little piece of Glad Press and Seal just to really keep that nice and tight so it doesn't dry out. You'll need some palette knives, just one. This one is my favorite. I'm laying down a sheet of white daisy, and then I'm going to orient my stencil. You know, I don't want to cover the whole paper. I'm just doing parts, so I'm picking out what stars I want to incorporate. I'm happy with this section up here. I want this peeking out from the pattern paper that I'm going to layer over the top. So using the back side of my palette knife, I've scooped some of the texture paste out, and this is as easy as spreading butter on bread. You don't need to overthink it. I'm just applying it, layering it into the stencil, and then I'm scraping off the excess from the top. I'll pick that up here, and you can see I want this really subtle white on white pattern going on here. You can add ink to your texture paste to get different colors, but again, I just want that white against the white background. I'm going to repeat that same element on the bottom of my paper, and I definitely recommend that you take just a second right when you're done with your texture paste and stencils to go run it under warm water. You will thank yourself later. It comes off super easily when you do it right away. I've gone ahead and adhered that to my VersaMat, and now this wood grain is 11 by 4 and the blue pattern paper is 8 by 10. I'm going to arrange my photos here. I want this one on the right because he's looking in towards the center of the layout. And this is a piece of sapphire that I've cut down as an extra mat to add behind my photos. I'm going to take a second to use my edge distresser and go around and distress the edge of that paper. I'm a big fan of either edge distressing or adding ink blending to the edges of my pattern papers. I'm using charcoal to go around the edge of this. It really goes nicely with the gray tones in the wood, and it's a much softer look than black, so just to switch it up, I thought the charcoal ink would be nice. I'm just hurrying and going around the edge, and then I will do the same to the blue pattern paper as well, and you'll see what a big difference it makes. So there it is without. We'll add some ink to the edge real quick, and then when I lay it back down, you can see what a difference that makes. I'm ready to bring in some embellishing. So I have a piece of glitter paper in gold, and then we're going to use that star die. And I wanted to mention that all their thin cuts come on these magnetic storage sheets, which is super handy. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut that off camera, and you'll see we have not only the outer portion of the stars all connected together, which again is perfectly sized for a slimline card, but we have the inner pieces of the stars that we can use as well. So that's really cool. And you could use that directly on your layout, but I'm actually going to use the inner portion today. Now you'll notice some of our stars have been injured. They're missing some legs, but that's okay. We're going to use those anyway and just tuck them behind the paper and you'll never know. I want to add even more pattern paper, so I have this strip of gray plaid, and this is from the current September and October mix-in paper pack. It's designed to go along with the current paper packs in this catalog, but I love plaid, and I think this could just go along and be used for so many different layouts, and I love the color selection there. Great collection of plaids. So I have cut this down and I'm going to slide it underneath here. I'm just eyeballing how long I want that, and I'll trim it, and then we're going to dovetail the edge. The finished piece is about 9 1/4 by 3 inches, but you could cut out the middle since that part's not showing and just have it tucking out the top and the bottom as well. I'm ready for the fun part, the embellishing. So I'm going to use these stars, and I love that we have different sizes, and I'm going to put them up on the upper left and the lower right to create a diagonal presentation of our embellishments. So what I've done is I actually had a couple of those and I cut them down so we had the outline of the star as well, and I thought that would just kind of add some interest and vary it up a little bit. So I'm just using the largest ones closest to the photo and getting smaller as we go out towards the edge of the layout. Now this Christmas play was a musical, and I thought to myself, I know I have some music sheet pattern paper also from the core catalog. This is called Noteworthy. You can see it's this awesome collection of like ledger paper, lined paper, and what's cool is it's white on one side, and on the other side you get this kind of distressed, vintage, yellowed, aged look to the paper. How cool is that? I love the look of this paper. Another great neutral paper pack to have around. So I want to add some of this, so just a little bit. I used my small tag from the Tags and Tabs, and I was thinking the white, but the age side actually goes better because it matches their little angel robes. Now this stamp set is an older one, but I believe it's still available. It's called Jingle Joy Scrapbooking, and there's some sentiments on here. The first one says twinkle twinkle, and the second one I selected says all is bright. And I thought those are fun phrases to go along because twinkle twinkle, it's like our stars, and all is bright. We have the bright shining stars. I'm inking them up in black ink, and I'm just stamping them. I'm using the same block just to make it easier, one on each side. And then I will go ahead and use my little small paper trimmer to cut those down, and we'll use them to build up the embellishment cluster on top of the tag. I use this little personal photo trimmer all the time for trimming my journaling lines when I do strip journaling and print them out on the computer. It's just super easy to cut those into strips. So instead of cutting that, I thought it might look cool to rip it. So I'm just cutting off or ripping off the little tails, and I will ink those up off camera to give them a little definition. But there's our finished word strips, and I'm going to layer them right over the tag here. I want to add even more embellishing to this tag, so I'm going to use some of those leftover stars and just create a little trio of stars highlighting my word stickers there. And then this is really cool. It's a collection of tabs dies from the core catalog, and I'm going to use a couple of these to cut out some black little tabs to add to my layout. So I have a couple. I have sanded those with a nail file to bring out that white core and give them a distressed look. I did end up using this one instead of the smaller one, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use that to add some journaling to my layout here in a little bit. But this tiny little one we're going to layer on the tag, and this one's going to go right up top here. Now I still need a title. So this is a very old stamp set, and I love pulling from my stash. I have all my Christmas stamps, but I thought this would work really well for a title. I'm using my Misty. I just ran my anti-static powder tool over the top because we're going to heat emboss this. I have my VersaMark ink, and I'm going to just apply this sticky ink all over this title so we can heat emboss that with gold embossing powder. So I think that looks pretty good there. I'm going to bring in my tray, and I have the Princess Gold Ranger embossing powder. Now this tray is retired. It's no longer available, but it is very handy. If you don't have it, you can use coffee filters as well. I am just heating this from the back side so you guys can watch that magic melt before your eyes and turn this into a shiny, beautiful element. I thought the title Shining Moments went along really well with the whole theme of being on stage. Now this is a really large element here, so I'm actually going to cut that down with my microtip scissors. I went ahead and did that off camera, and I just wanted the actual word Shining Moments, and we're going to layer that right over the top there. These little brackets are really fun. They are acrylic, and you can get them in black, white, or wood, and they're just fun to add little details to our projects. I thought one right here over the tag to further create that little embellishment cluster, and I recommend either using liquid glass or glue dots to adhere these acrylic elements. And these micro glue dots are tiny enough that you can hide them behind the edge. So I'm going to do one on the top, bottom, and one in the middle. So I had a lot of journaling to include to tell the story behind these pictures, and I'll show you what I did here in just a moment. My son, again, this is his school play, and it's a big deal. They practice for like 6 to 7 weeks, and they put it on for the entire community, and it's to deliver a message about the reason behind the Christmas season. This year it was called Angel Alert, and it's a musical where people learn about God's faithfulness, waiting upon Him, and becoming messengers of God's great love. It's so fun creating hidden pockets like this to contain the story, and you could reach in through a top-loading page protector and pull that out. So I've attached it to this little tag, and I will stamp the word pull on that so that the viewer knows you can slide that out. This page has a lot of detail packed in, but I don't think it's overwhelming. We've used subtle colors and that tone on tone with the texture paste and our interactive journaling. It's kind of a lot. It's like a little hunt for the eye to take it all in. I hope you guys were inspired by today's project. If you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you join the Crafty Concepts with Erin community. Check the description box below for all the supplies I used on today's project. Bye!